I didn't panic because I don't never ever panic really. I just back then, and we still got along. We may have even been only. So we went to visit his brother. Wanted to go see Niagara Falls. Wanted to go to Cleveland. Wanted to go to where else? Wanted to go, through everything. I wanted to go see the cousins in Indianapolis, but my ex-husband did not want to do that, so we had to drive through Indianapolis, which was really frustrating. But anyway, so we drove, and we were in Indiana, I think, and it started raining, like raining, sheets of rain. I was driving, actually, because he was sleeping. And he hates driving in rain. He gets really anxious and nervous and decompensates kind of. He has to pull over and stuff, which is great. If y'all do that, that's probably safer than driving in rain. But it was driving sheets and sheets of rain. So I do that thing where I take pictures, right? Well, I was driving down the road, and we were on an interstate, 5-lane interstate each way, and an 18-wheeler was in the left-hand lane coming on to us, like on-way traffic, and we couldn't, and I couldn't avoid him, and he splashed, like, obscene amounts of gallons of water on the windshield, and it had oil in it, and so it stuck to the windshield, and it covered the windshield completely. From left to right, it was completely opaque. There was no vision whatsoever. And there was no way to roll down the window because the rain was one of those rainstorms where it was coming from the left. It was like coming sideways and straight down at the same time. I'm sure y'all have been in there if you live near the Midwest. It's very common in the Midwest to have rainstorms like this, and even in Texas sometimes. They just don't last very long in Texas, but this was going on for hours. So, and I didn't panic because I don't never ever panic really. I just remembered my picture, and I knew that to my left I had a shoulder that had some stuff on it. I had a bridge, abutment upcoming in about 500 feet. Well, maybe 250 feet. It was pretty close. And I had a line of cars to my right that were all sedans, not anything big. We were driving a hatchback, like a little Hyundai hatchback at that time. And on the right-hand side, there was a line of sedans, like 4-door, 2-door sedans, very low to the ground, not anything, no space to get ahead of us. But in front of me, if the cars didn't move over, I had at least 300 feet of straight road to drive on. And there were no curves. We had just come out of a curve, and there was a curve about 700 feet in front of us, but we didn't have anything right there. So I just held steady and waited, because I know that water goes down a windshield, like or over the top of the car. We were going about 50 miles an hour, maybe about 45 miles an hour in the rainstorm. And so I was like, okay, I have about 2.5 minutes to fix this before I have to pull over. And after the bridge, there was a bridge coming up in my lane, but on the shoulder, it would have obstructed me. So if I had moved on the shoulder, I probably would have hit the bridge moment. If I had moved to the right, I would have definitely hit a car sideways, but that's not as bad as rear-ending somebody at 45 miles an hour. So I went ahead and stayed the course and got a towel. I had a towel next to me. We always have hand towels. I always put a hand towel on the console of my car, and I suggest y'all do the same because they're very handy. I had an actual towel, like not a paper towel. And so I was like, okay, I can roll down the window and wipe off the window if I have to get on the shoulder after the bridge. And the bridge will help because the bridge would cover the water, but not if I was in the shoulder, it would kill me. So I was like, okay, I think I can make it to the bridge. And then at the bridge, I can wipe off the windshield. So I was like, oh my God, I said that out loud, right? My ex-husband was asleep. So he woke up to acres of water on the windshield, and me just driving the car like nothing happened. And the people next to us were like looking at us like, do you need to get over? But it was all really fast. So he started panicking, and he reached to grab the wheel. And I was like, stop, I have this under control, it's fine, it's going to be fine. And it was fine. We got under the bridge, the windshield wipers had a second to work, and I pulled over after the bridge, and we wiped off the windshield with a towel. And it was black. The towel was black. There was oil all over our windshield. It was bad. And he said, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you lived through that. I can't believe that we survived that because of you. We could have died. He said, if it was me, I would have swerved. I'm just going to cry. He's like, if it was me, I would have swerved onto the shoulder, and we would have hit the bridge. He's like, how did you do that? He said, you were driving completely blind. And I said, well, no, I wasn't, because I knew what was in front of me, pretty much. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, and that was just like a 3-second, it was like a 3-minute moment. Okay, it took no time at all. But the only reason I could do that was because I'm always doing that with my brain. Because I have a photographic memory too. But I take pictures with my brain every 5 minutes, left and right, when I'm driving. And I do the same thing in the classroom. And I do the same thing in any unknown situation that I go into, which is so funny. So I go in and I just, little tears of happy survival. But anyway, so I go in and that's one of the only times in my life that he's ever thanked me for anything, because he said, I was sound asleep. If I hadn't been sound asleep, we would have died. If I had been driving, we would have died. He's just going to get over it. But